1 of 3 Americans would not be able to cover an unexpected bill of $400. With nearly 70% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck, now is the most important time to have an emergency fund. I'm going to explain what your emergency fund should be used for, how much you need in it, and where you should keep it. Hey there, Brittany Flammer here with videos all about budgeting and money saving tips. If you want to be able to afford to live a life you love, then hit the subscribe button and that bell so you don't miss any videos. What is an emergency fund? Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's money you set aside for an unexpected or unplanned expense, like an emergency. It is not an investment. It is a safety net meant to protect you when life throws you curveballs. It is meant for emergencies like a job loss or a pay cut, or maybe you have an accident and have some large medical bills, or major unexpected house repairs. The theme of all of these is that they're major and they're unexpected, and that's where your emergency fund comes in. The big question is, how much do we need in our emergency fund? Ramit Sethi, who wrote I Will Teach You to Be Rich, recommends 6 to 12 months in an emergency fund. Dave Ramsey, a well-known radio host and author, says you need $1,000 in your emergency fund, and then you pay off all your debt except for your mortgage, and then your fully funded emergency fund is 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. He even says $1,000 isn't enough for a full emergency fund, but it's enough to give you a cushion when something happens. Most experts say 3 to 6 months or more is even better for your emergency fund. It will vary person to person because personal finance is personal based on your circumstances. If you're single with no kids, 3 months is probably plenty. If you're married with a ton of kids, then maybe you want 6 months or more. If you have an inconsistent income or you're self-employed, maybe you do a little bit more than other people. No matter how many months you decide on, this is going to be a big chunk of change. Keep in mind, it's not going to happen overnight. It will take you some time to save up your emergency fund. But let's figure out exactly how much you personally need. Decide on the number of months you would like to have, and then we've got to figure out how much you need each month. If you've got a budget, take a look at your budget and see what you can cut out. Our emergency fund is a bare bones budget. You do not need to include expenses for everything. It's just the necessities to get by if there's an emergency. So add up all of your fixed and necessary expense. Things like your rent or your mortgage, all of your utilities, food for you and your family, the necessities that you have to have. You can cut out things like getting manicures, shopping, eating out. All of those things are not necessities, and you could cut them out if you were in an emergency. So add up all of the necessary expenses, and that's how much you're going to need for 1 month. Then if you're doing a 3-month emergency fund, multiply it by 3. If you want a 6-month, multiply it by 6 to figure out how many dollars you need to save in your emergency fund. Check out me finding out how much we need in our emergency fund.
We're just going to assume for the emergency fund that we're not making any money. So we're going to have 0 income. So let's scroll down. If there's 0 income, then we're not going to donate. So we'll put 0 for donating. We're not going to be contributing to a Roth IRA. So I'll put 0 there. Card fund. We'll keep a little bit in there because stuff happens. We're using our emergency funds. We're not contributing to it. We probably won't be doing anything for vacation. House expenses. We won't be adding to it. Kids activities. We'll drop it down. Christmas, nothing. But then these expenses, most of these we can't change. They're pretty fixed. We can try to minimize them as much as possible, and I would do that. But a lot of these are set, and there's not much we can do differently. Gas. Most of our gas is for my husband getting to and from work. So if he's not going to work, we could probably drop that down. Then groceries, we could cut back probably to $400, and our youngest is no longer in diapers this month, so we can drop that. Gift money, nothing. Pocket money, we would probably just drop it because we still need a little bit. We don't have to, we can do free dates. School stuff, maybe drop it. We would have our kids do their jobs without getting paid. Clothing we could do without for a few months. Babysitter we could do without. Okay, so we've got our total expenses. Normally our monthly expenses are 3,400, but for our bare bones emergency fund budget, it's down to 2,400. If we multiply it by 3, that's 7,200 for 3 months, and multiply it by 6, it's 14,400.
Now that you know how much you need for your emergency fund, where should you keep it? Now, the whole point of your emergency fund is to have it on hand for when an emergency happens. So you want it to be in cash or something you can liquidate and turn into cash very quickly. You do not want to invest it. I repeat,
do not invest your emergency fund.
you need access to it. But it's also a very good idea to keep it separate from your other accounts. If you're banking at a bank or credit card union, you could set up a separate savings account labeled emergency fund and put money into it there for your emergency fund. You can automatically transfer money each month, or whenever you get a chunk of change, transfer it over to that account. That works great. My personal recommendation and where we keep ours is in an online savings account, also known as a high yield savings account. These are accounts just like the ones at your bank, but they are at an online bank. So they don't have a physical branch that you can go into, and you do everything online. You set up your account online. You can even link it to your actual checking account for transferring money into it. You can set up automatic payments into that account. I like having it somewhere else so it's out of sight, out of mind. I can put money into it. Once it's fully funded, I pretend that I do not have it. The thing I like about the online savings account is they have higher interest rates. Now, we are not investing it. The point of our emergency fund is not to make money. It is to protect us and cushion us when something happens. But I might as well earn a few dollars while I'm doing it. In an online savings account, I'm earning a little bit of interest, and I have access to it. Within 2 to 3 business days, I can have the money in my checking account if I need it. So do a Google search, find one that meets your needs, and you can park your money there or set up automatic payments to fund your account. I personally don't have the app for our online savings account downloaded to my phone, and I don't even know our username and password. I have it saved, but I have to look it up if I want to log into my account. So I am not tempted to use it unless I really need it. Once you have got your emergency fund fully funded, you are ready to start investing and building your wealth. Make sure you're subscribed and stay tuned because my next videos are helping you get started investing. Thanks so much. See you in